The power of appreciation. When I was touring internationally overseas, I was fortunate to do a tour in South America. It was one of the most eye-opening experiences I've had in my life because of the world we come from here in Australia. And I was in Ecuador at the time, and I saw all these little kids between the age of 8 and 10 years old, and they were playing a full game of soccer, right out on the street, just in the streets. The boundary lines, so to speak, were their parents from both teams that stood around and created the boundary or the court. They were playing on a dirt in the street, no grass, all dirt. They were all barefoot. It was, I don't know, 35, 40 degrees. They were all sweating. They all had little shorts on, no tops, they're just running around. And they were playing soccer with a squashed up Coke bottle, plastic Coke bottle, on the dirt. The goals were 2 of their pieces of clothing on each end, and there was a goal they were playing. These kids are having the best time ever, and I looked at that and I thought, how many people from Australia, which is where I'm from, or America or Europe or other westernised sort of countries would appreciate that the way these kids and their parents were? And I'm not saying that we're not appreciative people or we don't have gratitude, but we're spoiled. And I looked at these people and I looked at something and I had the biggest penny drop moment of my life in terms of appreciation. These people were smiling so much, but not just so much. They were smiling so much more than what we would, as an example, but they were smiling so much more whilst having less. It's like, it was just this huge penny drop, like light bulb moment for me, because I was like, if they can smile so much more with so much less, then what are we doing? Most importantly, the conversation at that point in time was on myself. Like, what are you doing, Chris? How can you not go and enjoy the simple things? How can you not go and find value in appreciating what you've got rather than stressing about what you don't? Look at these kids. Look at their parents. They have so much less materially than what we do. But they were so much more full and filled with joy and abundance and connection and humanness. Like, how can you have so much less and smile so much more? There's a real magic to that. And they were really inspiring to me. And it taught me a lot about, like I said, focusing on what I have more than what I don't. Amplifying that. Because we all have in our life exactly what we're supposed to have. And without getting all universal and metaphysical on you, because I will at some stage, but there's a reason why we have exactly what we do. And every time we're looking for something else, what we're doing is neglecting the blessings and the fortunes and the divinity of what it is we are and what we have in front of us. And the real magic happens when you start appreciating things. You start to amplify what you're supposed to have, and then more of it will come, which is the stuff we're often chasing over there that we neglect right now for. So it's just a simple story I wanted to share with you, a bit of a perspective around how those kids and their parents were able to not just have fun and appreciate something more, but actually create something together, have connection, have gratitude, and absolutely love what they were doing. It made me think very deeply, and hopefully it makes you think a little deeper or harder too, around how much do you have compared to what those guys had that you're not acknowledging, that you're not neglecting, that you're not grateful for, that just happens every day, whatever. Even the small things like food. You know, I won't get stuck into that. I'll probably do another video on it. But there are people around the world, way too many, that don't have food. And they have to struggle every day just to feed themselves and their family. Here in the Western world, we don't have that issue. We have plenty other issues, but not that one. But what we do have is an underappreciation, in my opinion, as a society, for the fact that we've got access to this stuff. I saw it over there. Their level of compassion and appreciation and their depth and their substance. There's so much we can learn from those people. And the funny thing is, or the irony of what I'm saying is, all they really do in their own way is they look up to us a lot too for what we've been able to achieve or attain, or the materialism, or, you know, I was over there touring, so they were looking at me like, you know, I was half a big deal. And I looked at them and I was like, you're the big deal. You're the big deal. You get stuff. They don't realise how inspiring they were. For them, it's all about being to travel and tour and make money and look like, again, you're a big famous profile, high profile guy or girl. They've got it right though. That shit's not worth it, guys. You know, I'll say fortunate to be in a position where I've got to travel to other countries, and you walk there and you have an element of fame or high profile and people know you that you don't know. That's not what it's made out to be, I tell you. It's really not. It's almost substanceless. Unless you choose to take that recognition you've got and that spotlight you've got and you choose to pay something forward that's helpful. Other than that, you're just contributing to the demise of society and the ego, and none of that is appreciative or from a frequency of appreciation. That's all about feed me more. It's all a self-indulged, egocentric type of mindset and type of life. And these people over there, if you haven't been to somewhere like South America, or you haven't been to other places around the world that have their cultures and their settings and materialistically would appear to have much less than us. And of course, I'm not speaking for the whole country or the whole demographic, but there are portions of that country that are what I'm describing and what I got to witness. You should go and see these places because the people are the best. They're the best. They're less tethered, they're less toyed with. They're just quality people. And you'll notice this, if you go around to third world countries or places less civilized, less advanced, less material gains, you'll see they're way higher quality people collectively. And my favourite shows that I got to perform in and play for were places like South America, were places in Asia, but they weren't the normal high-rise city type of joints in Asia that I liked the most. I was grateful for those shows. And I was most grateful for the ones that took me out into bushes and festivals and out into places where you'd meet people that were living a different type of life, and the gratitude and appreciation and excitement they had to connect with you in that way was something I'll never forget. That's my version and the things that have helped inspire me. You'd have your own somewhere. And if you don't, because you only know your own backyard, so to speak, I'd really encourage you, if you want a perspective shift and you want to be lit up inside and learn about the world and learn about the type of person you really are at your core, go to a place like that. Every bit of your humanness will come out in you like this. No matter how egocentric you get, you'll feel the humanness. You know, some people go to these countries and these places and they like feeling like the king or queen, having more money, pointing the finger, feeling like the servant that you probably feel you are in your own world to those here. Don't repeat that bad cycle over there. Go over there, break the cycle and show those people the appreciation they deserve, the same way you deserve that appreciation. All right, so without digressing too much or going on a tangent, I just wanted to share that story with you because it was really inspiring to me to see that they could smile so much more with so much less. So if they can do it, why can't we? Why can't you? Why can't you take this video right now as your opportunity to go, yeah, I'm not having the greatest day. Maybe I'm not having the greatest week or month or year, or I haven't had the greatest life. Depends how deep your narrative goes. What's the story you're telling yourself, how deep it is. But whatever it is, whether it's a moment or a lifetime, let this video be your starting point to change. Your starting point to go, well, you know what? I'm able to watch this video. That must mean you have a phone or a computer or a laptop or a television or an iPad, or maybe you're watching it on a friend's or a family member's. That's abundant. There's appreciation just there that you can watch this video. Are you breathing? You know, how much you want to break down the concept of appreciation. You don't need to just look for all the tiny little things in your life. It's a good starting point, because then when you do that, you open up threads to appreciate the bigger things. And, you know, if we're not looking for these things, we won't see it. The mind only sees what we're focusing on. All right, so the power of appreciation is a very, very, very important thing for us as humans. It raises our frequency, it raises our mood, it raises our energy, and it helps us change the narrative with the shitty stories we tell ourselves. All right, so if you can't get overseas and you can't travel and you can't experience what I've been very fortunate to do right now, try to get there one day, or in the meantime, allow my story and my video and what I've done to serve you in some way. Get that perspective shift, see it in your mind, make the difference, all right? Appreciation is very powerful.